Why do people make plans and still repeat the same patterns? Why does tomorrow always seem clearer than today ever becomes? Because this is not about planning. It is about postponement. This is not a message about the future. This is a message about deferred responsibility. And there is a difference, a quiet one, a socially acceptable one, a dangerous one. Tomorrow is one of the most comforting words ever created. Not because it guarantees change, oh no, but because it allows the appearance of intention without the discomfort of immediate alignment. I'll start tomorrow. I'll deal with it later. I know what I need to do soon. And because these phrases sound responsible, they are rarely questioned. Many people believe they are planning, but what they are actually doing is negotiation with action. They're not refusing it completely, no. They're just moving it far away to avoid confronting themselves today. And the mind, the mind is clever enough to mistake postponed honesty for preparation. You see, avoidance is rarely loud. Avoidance does not always look like sabotage. Sometimes avoidance looks organized, thoughtful, reasonable. Sometimes avoidance arrives carrying calendars, carrying plans, carrying research, carrying strategies, carrying timelines even. Not because movement is happening, no, but because movement is being simulated. The most dangerous part of tomorrow is that it feels productive. You can think about changing. You can prepare for changing. You can talk about changing. You can even design systems for changing and still remain unchanged. Because reflection without decision becomes theater. Let us be exact. There is a form of delay that society quietly rewards. A form of delay that sounds, say, mature. It goes like, now is not the right time. I'm waiting for stability. I just need more clarity first. And sometimes those things are true, but often they are fear with better public relations. Delay repeated long enough stops being a behavior. It becomes an identity. It becomes an identity because a person begins to experience themselves as someone preparing, as someone almost ready, as someone about to begin. And one day they realize they have built an entire self-image around proximity to action instead of action itself. You see, patience is not passive. Patience remains aligned while waiting for the correct moment. Deferral is different. Deferral postpones movement even when direction is already known. One carries discernment. The other carries hesitation disguised as wisdom. Every postponed decision still shapes trajectory because delay is not neutral. Delay teaches you four things. It teaches you tolerance, it teaches you avoidance, it teaches you internal negotiation, and it teaches you reduced urgency toward truth. And eventually, the person no longer trusts their own declarations. Not because the person is incapable, no, but because repetition has trained this belief. A cartographer asks something quite uncomfortable. If tomorrow never arrives, what is your current pattern building? Not your intention, not your potential, no. Your pattern. Because patterns do not obey dreams, patterns obey repetition. Many people believe clarity creates transformation. It does not. Clarity only removes the excuse of not seeing. And after that, decision remains. And this is why some people become more frustrated after moments of insight. Because now they can see the distance between what they know and what they continue permitting. This is just another illusion hidden inside tomorrow. The illusion is the belief that your future self will possess qualities that your current self refuses to practice. Say, more discipline, more courage, more honesty, more consistency. But character is not downloaded later. No, it is rehearsed now. Time is a peculiar thing. Time does not argue with you. No. It does not force alignment. It does not interrupt avoidance. Time simply continues. And what you repeat beside it slowly becomes your life. That is why tomorrow feels harmless. Because consequence arrives gradually enough to avoid immediate alarm. There are people living inside decisions they postponed for years. Not because they lack intelligence, no, but because they keep waiting for certainty before movement. Uncertainty rarely arrives first. More often, Clarity deepens through movement itself. So, so there comes a moment where the pattern must be interrupted. Not violently, no. Not emotionally, no, 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 no. Precisely. A moment where the individual says, enough postponement. The direction is already clear. That moment matters more than motivation ever will. See, tomorrow is not the enemy. No. Tomorrow is useful. Tomorrow is necessary, even, but only when it serves direction rather than replacing decision. So the question becomes, what have you already understood that you keep postponing? What truth keeps returning despite your attempts to move it further away? And how much of your life is currently being shaped by delaying obedience to what you already know? And for those who require immediate alignment beyond what is shared here, there are forms of work not conducted in public. Access exists. The future is not built later. The future is built through what today repeatedly permits. And if tomorrow is always carrying the responsibility, then today will never carry authority. Because eventually, a person must stop preparing to begin and begin and begin.